Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to discuss kinds of qualitative research, characteristics, uses, and strengths and weaknesses. So let's start. So for today, we're going to discuss kinds of qualitative research, characteristics, uses, strengths, and weaknesses. So here's the subject code or the learning competency code and the book that I'll be using and their authors. Let's start. So our objectives for this lesson is to identify what is qualitative research, the different kinds of qualitative research, characteristics and uses of qualitative research, and the strengths and weaknesses of qualitative research. So from our previous lessons, we are just looking at research as a whole, wherein pwede siyang maging quanti, pwede siyang maging quali, but now we'll be transitioning to being a specific kind of research, which is qualitative research. So, first, describe yourself. Okay? If you would like to share it here, you may pause this video and write your answer on the comment section down below. Then, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Again, if you want to share it, you post this video and write your answer down in the comment section. So, what is qualitative research? So, qualitative research is an inquiry of process of understanding a social or human problems based on building a complex holistic picture formed with words, reporting detailed views of informants and conducted in natural setting. It is essentially a descriptive analysis and follows the inductive process of reasoning, that is, from specific situations like students losing interest or motivation to study, to arriving to a generalization of what has caused, such as behaviors based on observation, interviews, self-disclosures, and written forms like school compositions, or more popularly in social media posts, blogs, or videos. It is interpretive, follows a non-linear research path, and speaks the language of case and context. Now, based on the definition that I gave to you, I would like you to focus on few things. First, it's an inquiry. Okay? So, you inquire on something. What is that something? Basically, it is a problem. Okay? Human or social problem. Okay? Wherein, you may answer it through words, either from written or when you observe. Like for example, sabi nga dito sa ating example dito, let's say in a school setting, why do students cut classes? Okay, that's a basic question there. That's a basic problem there. Cutting classes. So the basic research question that you would like to ask there is, why do students cut classes? That is a behavior. Okay, you observe it. For example, you're a researcher, you're a student. Okay, and that is your topic. Okay. And in your class, you notice there are 10 students who are cutting classes. You observe them. Okay. You look at their actions. You look at their behaviors. Then you will see why they are cutting classes. Then, if your advisor permits it, you can look at the records. You can look at the compositions, school compositions. Like for example, is the teacher-student meeting form. Okay, or log sheet, if ever they were called, or for example is advising. Okay, kunyari pinatawag sila ng advisor ninyo. Okay, you may ask your advisor for that, or possible if you can look at their Facebook posts or videos or blogs, you may see what they are doing. Okay, it is interpretive in nature. When you say interpretive in nature, you will based on what you saw, based on what you heard, what you read, you interpret it. Why? Okay? So basically, that is qualitative research. And it is more on the experiences of the person or the subjects that you are investigating. Okay, so kinds of qualitative research according to Marshall and Rossman, 1995. First, participant observation. This is one of the, for me, one of the most best way on how to do qualitative research. It demands immersion in the natural setting of research participants. The researcher participant is able to hear, see, and experience reality as the research participant performs activities and deal with one another during a period. So basically, this is like, for example, yung eyewitness. Okay, if you watch or Reporter's Notebook, if you watch an episode na tumira sila sa ilalim ng tulay, okay, that is an example of participant observation. What they're doing is technically qualitative research. They want to see how people live under the bridge. Okay? Or, for example, is you want to know the lives of Aitas. You live with them. You're not just observing them, but you are doing what they're doing on a daily basis until you come up with a generalization or with an answer to your question. Okay? Observation. It entails the systematic noting or recording of events, behaviors, and artifacts in the social setting chosen for study. The researcher learns about behaviors and the meanings attached to the behaviors. Let's say, yun nga, yung example ko kanina, cutting classes, kung hindi mo siya kayang i-interview, this is the best way to do it. You observe the individual why they are cutting classes. Okay? So basically, papanoorin mo lang siya. Kailan siya nagka-cutting classes? Is it early in the morning? During recess? Second subject? Bago matapos yung klase? Before lunch? So on and so forth. Okay? Nakadepende yan kung paano mo, ang answers mo sa question is nakadepende kung paano mo na-observe yung behavior ng tao. Okay? Then we have in-depth interviewing. Okay? Ito yung tinatawag natin interview sessions. Okay? It resembles conversations but with predetermined response categories. A degree of systemization in questioning may be necessary, especially in a multi-site case study or when many participants are interviewed. Sorry for the typographical error. So, sa in-depth interview, it's a one-on-one interview, okay, with a presets of questions. Okay. Later on, we'll be discussing on a future lesson what are the different kinds of interview questions. Okay. So it's either you have a set of questions, you have a predetermined questions, or possible whatever the response of your respondent or your participant, you may change your questions. Then we have focus group interviewing. It's way different between in-depth interview. Involved 7 to 10 at times 6 to 8 people who are unfamiliar with one another and have been selected because they share certain characteristics that are relevant to the research inquiry or problem. The interviewer creates a permissive environment, asks focused questions in order to encourage discussion and the expression of differing opinions and points of view. So here, you will set a criterion, like for example, age. Okay, so for example, the age is 16 to 18. Okay, so you will select individuals who are not familiar with one another with the age of 16 to 18. Okay, if you are in school, for example, we are ABM students with age of 16 to 18, possible. Okay, or TBL students 16 to 18, regardless of gender, so on and so forth. Okay, regardless of grades, possible yan. Then you will do is it's like a sa mga talk show. Okay, you will raise a problem, you will raise a question, then you will let your participants discuss to one another what their answers are. Okay, then the good thing there is you're not interpreting what they're saying already because it's already explained to you. Like for example, nasabi nila na nagkakating yung mga ganitong students kasi ganito ganyan. Okay, so basically it's easier than interpreting an interview, an in-depth interview, kasi nagdidiskusyonan na sila, meron ng exchange of thoughts. with regards to the problem at hand. Content analysis, it calls for systematic examination of forms of communication, document patterns objectively. So here, you will read documents, you will read different files to come up with the answers for your questions. The narratology, it can be applied to any spoken or written story. It requires a great deal of sensitivity between participant and the researcher. So narratology, basically, from the word narrate, okay? So here, your participant will narrate the story for you. Then you will analyze. The problem here is the point of view of the person pagka sensitive ang issue. Like for example is if the participant is a rape victim, okay? So, syempre napakahirap naman. Sabi nga ng mga psychologists, pag pinaulit-ulit mo ang nangyari doon sa isang victim, possible magkaroon sila ng mental issues. So, how will you do a narratology for that particular topic? Okay? So, basically, sabi nga, spoken or written story, you may go back to the police station and ask for the record. Okay? Doon mo makikita yung totoong story niya. Nasulat na niya eh. Okay? Then you will interpret what happened. Then films, videos, and photographs. Basically, this provides visual records of events, especially the films and videos which capture the perspective of the filmmaker or videographer. Pictures, on the other hand, manifest the intent, interest, or values of the photograph. Mostly, ang ginagawa, pinocombine nito sa mga ibang, like for example, participant observation and the interview. Okay? Observation. Pinagsasama-sama na itong mga to have multiple layers of information that you can get na mamimiss mo during your observation, your participant observation, your interview, or your focus group discussion. So here are the characteristics and uses of qualitative research. So first characteristic is the research takes place in a natural setting. This enables a researcher to immerse in the actual experience of the research participants and to get as much detailed data to she or he needs. So, as we explain, natural phenomenon, okay, if kailangan nandun siya sa natural setting. Okay? You will not interview someone, for example, a student, you will not interview a student, especially working student, nagkakating classes, for example, na nasa labas ng school. Okay? Mas maganda nag-interview kayo sa school. Or for example, you would like to interview a business person on how they do business. Mas maganda nasa business setting nila. Okay? Or possible, ang pangit naman siguro kung nag-observe ka ng mga items na wala sa tribo nila. Okay? You need to be on that particular setting when you're doing your research. Okay? The focus of qualitative research is on the participants' perception and experiences and the way they make sense of their lives. So, perception and experience. Ano ba sa tingin nila nangyayari and ano na-experience nila? Yun yung focus ni qualitative research. The methods are interactive and humanistic, call for active participation of research participants and on the part of the researcher, sensitivity to the needs of the participants. So basically, hindi lang yung, napansin nyo, interview session, okay? You will ask questions, they will answer you. And in your case, you need to be sensitive enough what you are asking. Participant observation, you are doing what they are doing, okay? Then, we have focus group discussion. You give a question, you give a problem, they discuss among themselves. And you should be sensitive enough on the questions that you will be giving. It uses various ways of collecting data like observations, structured or semi-structured interviews, documents, and now emails, blogs, videos, stills, and a host of others. So basically, you're not just limited on those things like observation, videos, interviews. Marami pa kayong pwedeng gamitin. Qualitative research results being emergent. New discoveries during the data gathering process can lead to a total revision of research questions among others. Ito yung maganda sa qualitative research. Kasi you expect something to happen, or something is already happening, but in reality, there's a different sets of things happening around your participants. So you need to adjust your research. You need to adjust your research questions. Okay? The theory or general pattern of understanding will emerge as it begins with the initial codes, develops into a broad themes, and coalesces into a ground theory or broad interpretation. So you will not give a conclusion, but rather an interpretation of what is happening through different themes, different codes. Okay? And it is fundamentally interpretative. So what I mentioned kanina, you just interpret. Okay? The researcher may filter the data through a personal lens that is situated in specific socio-political and historical moments. So, pwede kang mag-select, okay, ng data na kailangan mo. Okay? Because it's not like quantitative data na numbers ang usapan. Dito are more on words. Then you can look at those words. You can look at those patterns. You can look at those themes that you can use for your research. The researcher is the primary instrument in data collection. Basically, sa interview, observation, so on and so forth, ikaw na researcher ang nagko-collect ng data. So, strengths and weaknesses of qualitative research. So, for strengths, qualitative research can offer the best light on or best answers to certain phenomena. Not all, but some. Okay? On or best answers to certain. Certain, not all, Then, research results are exhaustive, even underlying meaning surface. Ibig sabihin, yung hindi nyo naintindihan dati, lumilitaw sila ngayon. Okay? It offers several avenues to understand phenomena, behavior, human conditions, and the like. So, basically, sinasabi natin dati na ganito si person A, and kaya ganito yung naging gawa niya. But in reality, there are different meanings or different means bakit siya nagkaganyan. And qualitative research shows that something to you. Okay? It can build on or even develop theories through consistent themes, categories, relationships, interrelationships that are crystallized during the data gathering and data analysis process. So, makakabuo ka ng theory. It's not a conclusion, but rather a theory wherein you need to prove it in quantitative research. So, for weaknesses, total immersion in the natural setting of the research can be time-consuming and tedious and research draining as well. So, research draining as well, I mean. So, basically, number one, matrabaho. Even your money would be drained because of this one. Oras mo, mauubos. Okay? There comes a point when the personal self and the researcher self are inseparable. So, subjectivity on the part of the researcher typographical can happen. So, basically, again, subjectivity na naman ang usapan, which is lagi nandiyan sa qualitative research. So, why do we need to know the strengths and weaknesses of qualitative research? So, you may post this video and write your answer in the comment section down below. How can we use different types of qualitative research in our daily life? Again, you may post this video and write your answer in the comment section down below. So with that, thank you for your time and we'll see each other on our next talk.